You'll all recognise this view. It's Whyalla as you arrive from the north. Much as I love this city, of course we are perceived as an industrial city. However, we do have the jewel in the crown. It's the area that the council puts on all their brochures and makes such a big deal about. It is, of course, the Point Lowly Peninsula. It is our tourist and recreation area. And you know, when you're out here, you could be in one of the most exotic locations in the world. However, as you drive out, the scene that dominates, of course, is the Santos petrochemical plant. And you can see immediately that our parents made a mistake. It's the wrong area to put industry. We should be looking after this area for our children. It is in our care for our children. Yet we're putting all of this at risk. In 1992, we had the oil spill from the tanker era, a double-hulled tanker that was punctured by the tug Turmoil. We were lucky. The wind blew to the southeast and the oil hit the coast to the south of Port Pirie. And 17 years later, you can still see the effects of the oil spill in a strip of dead mangroves along the coast. And despite the best efforts, the spill was not able to be contained, and there was reported loss of bird and marine life. And so here we are, 2010, and we've got another leak. We don't know where the leak's coming from. Can we prevent it from contaminating the Gulf? Well, we've got problems of pollution from the existing petrochemical plant. We can use an industrial risk rating table to decide, what is the increased risk of pollution from more petrochemical industry and ships. If we look on the left, you can see the likelihood, and we know that's possible to likely. We know the consequence. Of course, the consequence is medium to high with oil. So you join the two together and you have a high to very high venture. So what are we letting ourselves in for? Well, in essence, more ships. The blue represents Santos ships, the yellow, those coming in for diesel, and the black, those for the refinery, and of course the red indicates a commodity port if it was put in there. And of course this represents a greatly increased risk of further oil spills. In essence, we're putting the entire Upper Spencer Gulf at risk. Last time we were lucky, next time we may not be so lucky. In essence, we're putting everything that we currently get from the Point Lowly Peninsula at risk. We're talking about the recreation, the tourism, the cuttlefish diving, the swimming, the snapper competition, all of the things that we enjoy in the Point Lowly Peninsula. And of course this is what they've got planned for the Point Lowly Peninsula. You can see Santos at the bottom, and above that the refinery and storage area, the desalination plant, the commodities port, the rail line, the new jetty. And if you look at the bigger picture, you can see that there really is nowhere to go for the residents. There's Whyalla at the bottom, the park in green, and the tip of the Point Lowly Peninsula. The orange represents the current industrial area, the red, the industrial area that the state government wants to put in, and of course the black is the defence area. However, we are lucky. We don't have to do the experiment. We can travel 20 years into the future today. For the price of an airline ticket, we can see the future. We can go to Prince William Sound in Alaska, to the city of Cordova, and see what the future holds for us.
Today marks the 20th anniversary of one of the worst environmental disasters in history. It was March 24th, 1989. The Exxon Valdez oil tanker struck a reef off the coast of Alaska. The ship's captain, Joseph Hazelwood, was legally intoxicated at the time, had surrendered the wheel to his subordinates when it slammed into the reef. This is the distress call he made, where he says the ship was leaking some oil. The Exxon Valdez spilled 11 million gallons of crude oil into the fishing waters of Prince William Sound. The spill contaminated more than 1,200 miles of Alaska's shoreline, killed hundreds of thousands of seabirds and marine animals. It also dealt a staggering blow to the residents of the local fishing towns, and the effects of the disaster are still being felt today. A report marking the 20th anniversary of the spill has found oil still persists in the region, and in some places, quote, is nearly as toxic as it was a few weeks after the spill. The report was put together by the Exxon Valdez Oil Spill Trustee Council, which oversaw restoration efforts. It states, quote, at this rate, the remaining oil will take decades and possibly centuries to disappear entirely. And 20 years after the disaster, litigation against Exxon continues to drag on. In 1994, an Alaskan jury found Exxon responsible and ruled the company should pay $5 billion in punitive damages to some 33,000 plaintiffs. Exxon appealed. In 2006, the Ninth U.S. Circuit Court cut the award of punitive damages in half to $2.5 billion. Then, in a 5-3 ruling last June, the Supreme Court cut the amount of punitive damages again and ordered ExxonMobil to pay just $500 million in punitive damages, 1/10 of the original jury's ruling. That equates to about 4 days of ExxonMobil's net profits. Most of the plaintiffs in the suit were from the small Alaskan fishing town of Cordova. Back in 1989, 4 days after the spill, the residents of Cordova held a town hall meeting to address the cleanup. They invited Exxon spokesperson Don Cornett. This is some of what he said.
You think you feel bad about this? We feel awful about it. But that doesn't help to come tell you that. I'm here to tell you what we're going to do about it. The contingency plan was deployed. And that...
May I get a word here, please? Just a second, folks. Let me, if you don't mind. My name is Ricky Ott. Why wasn't that boom material loaded onto our fishing boats and taken out?
I think that's a real good question. I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, right.
First of all, we don't have any boats. We rented local boats. I'm here to tell you what we're going to do about it. And I'm going to show you what we're doing about it. And we're doing the best job that's ever been done on an oil spill. And watch, just watch. You have had some good luck and you don't realize